Welcome to another episode of UCRD Reviews. So today we're taking a look at another P-Bandai exclusive. This one is the RGM-79L GM Light Armor version anime. So this one comes from Mobile Suit Variations, and it was basically a GM made for ace pilots that wanted a more finely tuned machine that fit a specific combat role. It was actually made alongside the GM Sniper Custom for similar reasons. So we've never had a figure of the light armor, but now we do in the Robot Spirits line, which is really cool. So as soon as this one went up for pre-order, I immediately grabbed it. I really like this design. You know, it's appeared in several mangas. It's in Gundam Battle Operation 2 and a bunch of other video games. So it's an interesting, simple design translated into figure form. So I'm really excited to take a look at it. So let's open this thing up. Alright, let's check out the newest Robot Spirits GM variant. So this is the GM Light Armor. So first impressions here, it doesn't have a lot of marking, or it doesn't have any markings or anything like that on here. Just the orange and white mainly. You have black on the vents here. Not much else. You do have somewhat painted thrusters back there. But it's a pretty plain looking figure, however it works. I mean, this is pretty much how the line art looked. So for the head, it does have a slightly different head sculpt than a normal GM. You can see there's no head Vulcans on there. It has some pretty crazy head articulation. Doesn't look down a whole lot, and it can do a full 360. The chest has a bit of chest flex there. It can look down about that far, and it can go backward about that far. On the back you have effect part compatible thrusters, you have hard points on the back as well, and the beam saber storage is movable as well. And you have weapon storage back here. The arms actually come up quite a bit, and that is partly due to the shoulder armor, which is hinged here and can rotate back and forth. With the arm up, you can see there's some cool detail in there, some like hydraulic joints and stuff. We don't usually get detail under the arm like that, but for this release we did. It rotates here and it rotates here. You can see the shield hardpoint right there. Elbow joint has good articulation, and we have double ball jointed hands. In the waist, you have hinged side and front skirt armor. So you can see the leg has quite a range to it going to the side. The ball joint for the hip can move forward, and you have a good amount of movement here as well as in the knee. And you have hip rotation, which is always nice. Not a lot of figures get them, but this one thankfully did. For the feet, they can move side to side a good amount, can move back and forward with the toe articulation. It is effect part compatible down here. I don't like the exposed pin that's down here. It's hidden by the foot normally, but if you pose it like that, you have a pin there. There's also two pins back here that are exposed, and then the one that's exposed on a lot of figures is the back of the foot, but there's a lot of that going on, unfortunately. So other than that, I think this looks like a fantastic figure. I like the blue visor, and the overall color of it looks pretty accurate. So let's check out what it comes with. The weaponry here that we get is pretty much the same as the regular GM release, with a couple differences. You have the same assortment of hands. You have gun hands, beam saber hands, and two different posing hands, as well as the hand rack. I'm going to pull out the beam saber here to get everything. You have the beam spray gun here, same one that comes with the regular GM. It is effect part compatible. You have the Hyper Bazooka. Again, same one that comes with the standard GM, effect part compatible. This one is storable, just like the other one. So we'll grab the storage piece right there. Pretty easy. We have the Beam Saber, which is now what I have in my hand, which we'll go ahead and connect. It has an interesting handle to it. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on it. It has this almost like braided look to it, which is pretty cool. And speaking of cool stuff, we have the shield. The shield is in the same color as the light armor. Has the regular handle that you can move around. It also has the ball jointed piece where you can connect it to the arm or to the back, and it comes with this piece up top, which is removable, where you can store the beam spray gun, which is pretty cool. And now we get into the more new stuff. We have, I guess I just grabbed this, the beam javelin. So this originally came with the G Fighter for the Gundam. This one has been slightly retooled. As you can see, it matches the beam saber handle for the GM light armor. Other than that, it is pretty much the same thing. And later on we'll check out the G Fighter version, because I'm going to do a review on the G Fighter because I have it, but I want to do all this new stuff first. And this is the new weapon. This is a beam rifle. Yes, a beam rifle, not a beam spray gun. It's also called the beam rifle stripped because it is a beam rifle that's as powerful as the Gundams, but doesn't have the ammo capacity, which makes it a bit inferior. It is effect part compatible. It looks like a suppressed Uzi or MAC-10, which is pretty cool. And it even has little iron sights, which is interesting. Not very good iron sights, but they're there. And this piece is storable. So I think you slide these on like so. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's the other way. Yep, that's it. So the bulkier top piece, or this bulkier piece, goes on top, and then the smaller piece goes down below, and then you store it on the rear skirt armor where the bazooka would normally go. So it's storable, which is pretty cool. And then we also get the same basic effect parts that I think the GM comes with. A lot of releases come with. We have two different thruster effects that have the slanted pegs, one of which unfortunately is slightly bent there, but that's okay. I have 1,000 of these. And we get the really cool slashing saber effect, as well as a firing effect. So pretty neat set overall. So I wanted to do a comparison with both the standard GM and the GM Sniper Custom. So starting off with these two, you can see the head sculpt is a little bit different. You don't have the Vulcans. Side profiles basically the same though. So these two figures are going to look very similar, but this one is retooled almost all the way through. The chest, you can see the vents are gone. The cockpit door is a bit different. In the arms, the shoulder armor's completely different. The arms themselves look very, very similar, but you'll see the standard GM has these little nubs in it, and the GM light armor does not. The waist armor is very different. The side skirt armor is slimmer, or not as long, rather. Same with the rear skirt armor. Let's go ahead and flip the standard GM over real quick. Backpack is identical. The legs are almost identical. You'll see the profile up here by the hip joint is a little bit different. This one's curved a little more. The legs here are pretty much the same. I guess it helps if they're in frame. There's no real difference there. And then the feet are resculpted on the GM light armor. Mainly the difference between the missing ankle armor, stuff like that. So really interesting, very, very similar figures, but little bit different. And then the Sniper Custom, which in universe was made around the same time as the light armor. You'll see they have obviously completely different bodies, but I always loved this GM design. I think it looks fantastic. I liked its weaponry. I liked its, versatility with all of its weapons that it has. And I don't know, it looks like a bulkier, crazier looking mobile suit. I think that's why I liked it. It really looked like something an ace pilot would use. The light armor doesn't look as impressive, but it is a really neat MSV figure, so it has that going on for it at least. So I picked this figure up for roughly $72 and change, and for a P-Bandai figure that sounds about right. This one's a really neat figure. It comes with some cool accessories, the beam javelin, the new beam rifle, as well as some more basic GM accessories. And everything works really well. The changes to the sculpt are subtle, but necessary for accuracy, and I like when they do stuff like that. And it's a really nice figure. I mean, it has amazing articulation because of the lack of armor. And yeah, I like the concept of this mobile suit. Dumping a lot of armor for like super close combat effectiveness, but we never had a figure of it as far as I can recall. So it's nice to finally have a figure to display to represent this awesome ace pilot mobile suit. So if you can find it and it's not crazy expensive, it's worth picking up. It's a nice figure. So thank you for watching the review, everybody. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I will see y'all next time.